itself is not moving, it's the whole motor. So he needs engine mounts badly, as I just racked my head on the lift. What's going on? So I wanted to give you guys a little update here. I wanted to keep the video footage content rolling in. And I should have put my phone on a tripod, but I didn't. So it is Saturday morning. It is super early. I like to be on a schedule where I can keep repeating. I feel like myself, it helps me just feel good mentally. So instead of sleeping in on a Saturday and getting here maybe a little bit later, I am still here early. It is very early where nobody else is here just yet. Got the shop heating up nice and warm, so when the guys come in that it's going to be warm for them. We got a lot of stuff going on today, even though it is a Saturday. We got to jet out to our machine shop. We're going to do some cleaning today, and we got some projects we're working on too. What I'm going to do really quick though, because my hand's getting tired, I'm going to throw my phone on a tripod. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so what I wanted to say really quick in this little video footage, you're going to see some more projects that we have that we're working on and continuing to work on, and that we have some footage that I took. I also, one thing personal, I need to get a haircut, so that's why I have my hat on today, so I don't have to do my hair and stuff. It's getting to a point where my beard is actually starting to get in my mouth, and it's very, very annoying. But one thing I did want to address, and I do see the comments where some people are like, you work too much, or I even hear it in person, like, man, you guys, take a day off, take a break. Myself in general, and I say that because I can't speak for everybody, I'm blessed to be where I'm at. I know there's a lot of other people that are less fortunate. And my whole theory is, as long as I'm healthy, and yes, I do focus on that, and if you follow me, and you go back last year when I had a little bit of a cardiac issue with my heart, and I was drinking energy drinks, well, I stopped that, and I was drinking tea. That's why I mentioned it in my last video. I personally don't like the taste of tea. I mix it with either like lemonade, one of those lemonade packets, or whatever I can find. Today I only had a Hawaiian Punch packet, which is kind of like purple. Well, I'm sorry, it's grape. But that's it. We're gonna get to work today. We're gonna keep knocking stuff out. We're gonna continue to grind. And as I said, if you're on Facebook and you didn't see the post that I made, the one, it was really late at night. It was like right around, I think, 2 o'clock. If you didn't see that post, go find it. I actually did post it on Instagram. Instagram that night did not want to let me post it. There's still a point if you have too many words. I think Instagram thinks like you're trying to spam. So I posted it later on. So it is on Instagram. But anyways, what I was just saying is, there's in the post, there's sacrifices you have to make as a business owner. And, I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to be where I'm at. And we've been doing this now. I've been doing this now for 22 years. And I have an amazing team. As you heard me say earlier in this video, I got the shop warmed up for my guys coming in. It's Saturday. Our whole Saturday rule of thumb is if you need a break and a day off, take it. If you got family stuff going on, take it. Last weekend, my guy had some stuff come up on Saturday. He showed up Sunday. I can't ask for a better team. I truly can't. I don't know if they watch my videos. Hopefully they do. I don't think they do, actually. So, but shout out to them. Without them, couldn't make this happen. So let's get to some video footage. Enough of me talking. So we got a lot of stuff going on, and here is, if you've seen some pictures I've been posting, a beautiful, beautiful EF. Of course, it's been repainted. It's not the original color, but it's awesome seeing not only old school cars like this, but just how clean it is. So he wanted a few things done, a few things to go over. One thing that we are addressing is not only was he having an overheating issue, he also, the upper line was kinked a little bit. And in order to get it right and correct, I guess I'll say that he didn't have the right radiator, even though it did fit and work kind of. but we're going with a DA radiator. Not only is the core thicker, the inlet and outlets for the hoses are the correct size. So right now we're doing the fan, putting the fan on. We're gonna get that installed here, and I'm gonna go show you guys a couple other things that we got going on. We have this RSX that came in for a bunch of work. Hold on 1 second. Camera seemed a little blurry. RSX came in for a bunch of work. One thing that we did was install a header. It was a PLM header along with the exhaust that we did. The PLM header was hitting the subframe. Be right back. Okay, sorry about that. We had parts delivery, and right now we're short-staffed. Everybody's been sick here pretty much, and it's something going around because it's not just at our shop. When we tell people, hey, we're short-staffed because we got people out sick, usually what we've been getting is, oh man, yeah, I had that last week, or a family member had it, and it's a cold. It happens around this time of the year. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna say any magical C words because I don't want the video to get flagged. And yes, if you say the right words, there will be a little disclaimer on the bottom, so we're not gonna do that. Anyways, going back to work, we did a PLM header. The header was hitting the subframe. His engine mounts are not the greatest, and we believe that the engine was sitting a little bit lower. So we did recommend new engine mounts, but he didn't want to go with the engine mounts at this time. So we decided, instead of modifying the header, modifying the exhaust, we decided to modify the subframe. We cut a portion out of it, but we also reinforced it with super thick metal, so we're not worried about the integrity of the structure. It's gonna be fine. I am gonna get it up in the air real quick. I'm gonna show you guys just how bad, though, what we found. When we took the subframe out, 2 of the bushings actually just fell completely out of the lower control arms. And then the ball joints are rough enough that this car does need to go on the dyno, and it's not safe to go on the dyno. So I'm gonna have to insert another clip because the ball joints we already put up just for the time being in case we have to move the car back and forth. Right now, with how busy we are and things have to go in order on schedule, or else we fall behind and it just makes things a hassle. But I do have another clip that my tech, when we find something bad, they'll take a video of it just to show how bad it is. You can see, I should have put on my camera, my light, but hold on, let me magnetize it. You can see though the brake shield, so that needs to be addressed. That's just how it was. I can show you how we modified the subframe, which we did freshly painted it too. We don't want it to rust. You can see the notch that we cut out, but then we welded in 1/4 of an inch metal. So we're not worried about this being like a weak point. This was the best bet. The motor does, so if you're looking here, is the header itself is not moving, it's the whole motor. So he needs engine mounts badly. As I just racked my head on the lift here, you can see, I don't know how much you can see in the video, but I'm just lightly tapping on the header, like literally just doing this, and the whole motor just wants to rock. So hopefully you guys can pick that up. I'm trying to keep the camera still. But yeah, so he does need some engine mounts as well, and I'll insert the clip of the ball joints so you guys can see how bad those are. And I'm gonna rub my head because it hurts. So as we're doing our once over as well, my tech decided just to pull the trans fill plug, and I'm assuming drain plug. I just walked up and he said there's no fluid inside the trans, which is never good. So that wasn't on our list of things to do with this car. I don't know if the customer even knows that it had no trans fluid in it, but we're gonna fill it up, and yeah, we're gonna go from there. But just another thing too, where it becomes a headache when a car comes in kind of half complete, and this one came in as an engine swap, and we just had to do the wiring. And the reason we have to add coolant now because we have to let it heat up, but the main reason we're doing everything else is our main concern is the health of this motor. And checking the oil pressure and being on top of everything and not just guessing is going to help to make sure that if something is wrong, or that can pose a big issue, we don't want him not knowing. So now we monitor everything, and it's not about getting things out the door quick as possible. The health and safety of these cars are our main priority, along with the customers as well. So good find by my tech just to see if it had trans fluid in it, and it doesn't. So we're going to add some Honda MTF and go from there. So you can hear as we rev it up and we're bleeding the system out with the coolant system, you can hear that noise on the bottom end, which is not good. The oil pressure too is another thing to note. At idle, as it's warmed up, we're seeing roughly about 30 to 40 psi. These cars should sit around, these engines should sit around, get out of here so I can answer the phone. They should sit around roughly about 8 to 12 at idle. So something's going on there too. Give me 1 second as I get out of this hall. So what I was saying more so about the oil pressure too is how high it is at idle. And now before you even think, or if anybody's thinking like, well, hey, isn't higher oil pressure good? Yes and no. The short answer is you don't want it that high. Usually that's a sign of the bearing clearances are just way too tight. And then eventually you could spin a bearing. I don't know if the oil pump has been modified, but you start posing other issues when you have that high of oil pressure, and you have to consider that that's only at idle. So I can pull up the actual OEM specs and see. I don't know off the top of my head, but I think it's like 8 to 12 at idle. Okay, well, one thing I really wanted to address quickly, shortly, and I did mention it, this Integra that we covered, the white Integra with the motor, where you can hear the noise down below. As I said, our main concern is not only the health and safety of the engine, but it's also the health and safety, making sure the customer gets home. When we found out there was no Honda MTF in the trans, as the car came in just for wiring, we're only supposed to do wiring, of course we put Honda MTF in the trans. But we also recommended the customer for us to do a full nut and bolt check in the front of the car, because it was engine swapped. We told them we don't know what bolts might have been loose, we don't know what bolts might have been missing, and we don't want anything to happen when he's driving it home. At that point, he said him and his brother, I think he said, would go over it themselves, which is fine, perfectly fine. But we recommended him not to drive it, to tow it home. Not only for that reason, the battery was completely drained. Every time we took our jump pack off of it, the car actually wanted to die out. When he picked the car up, he had another battery from, I think he drove, the car that he drove to pick the car up, I think they swapped the batteries with. But yeah, our main concern was you drive it home on a dead battery, you accidentally stall the car out, well, it's going to be game over, or you're going to have to get out or jump start the car. And then the other thing too was the fan was working, but it was barely working. It was barely pushing. So right now the temperature over here is we're floating around 40 degrees. But if you're in stop and go traffic still, the car might not want to cool itself down. It might want to overheat. So at the end of the day, as I said before in these videos too, I can't recall if it's in this video or the last video. We can only give our recommendations out, and we can only give what we suggest. At the end of the day, if you want to take it and drive it and attempt to drive it home, that's on you. We can't stop you, can't prevent you. We can only give you all of our warnings. With that being said, if you got any kind of enjoyment out of this video, maybe you learned something, anything, please like it, please share it. It helps us. Comment down below, that also helps. Besides that, I'm going to wrap this video up. I want to keep creating content, keep getting it out there, not more so quickly, but more so on a more than one video a week. I do see the comments, I do read the comments, I try to reply back, and from what I can see, you guys are liking everything so far, just you guys want more footage. So I'm going to keep doing my best to do that. Besides that, whenever you're watching this video, hopefully your day is going good or has been good. Thank you. Thanks for watching.